Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, to the Perfect One, to the Supremely Enlightened One. Grateful salutations at the holy feet of Bhante. Salutations to Most Venerable Guru Bhanteji and most respected Anand Bhante and the Holy Sangha. Dear Venerable monks, blessings and metta to the Upasakas and Upasikas. Namo Buddhaya to all of you. Yes, thank you, Bhante, for giving me this opportunity for the Dhamma sharing today. Yes, that was very inspiring and wonderful Buddha Jayanti celebrations. Thousands of people have benefited, received the Dhamma during this Buddha Purnima, and each one of you, some other way, you took part in the Jayanti celebration here for the whole Bodhi Saptaha. Well, today I will be talking about the filial duties with respect to families and the parents and the sons and daughters. How the Buddha's advice for conflict resolutions in the family life. You know, these days we are lacking in all these values, and when you are lacking in values, then we lack in metta, and when you lack in metta, then there is disharmony, there is no unity. The parents are actually, they love the children are dear to them, children also endure to their parents. All our upasakas and upasikas, those who are parents or those who are even the children's, you want to live with good parents, don't you? Parents also want to have good children so that they don't have any more headache in the family. You know, whether they're young or adults, there has to have some directions in our life in line with the Dhamma so that the family life can become a source of great blessings. Lord Buddha was so compassionate that he exactly knew what is the problem in the family. How this Dhamma can reach to the family so that this family life can be a Dhamma life. Many times we also think, well, I am a lay person. I live a family life. Can I lead a Dhamma life? Yes, you can lead a Dhamma life, provided that you should know the principles of Dhamma. What are the things as a parents you should follow? What are the duties, the Dhamma principles a son or daughter has to follow so that we live in happiness? We all want unity, we all want happiness and prosperity. The thing is, something which is lacking, that is these fundamentals of Dhamma. Okay, so now Buddha's advice, Buddha is a scientist, the social scientist. He knows the social lacuna, the social problems. So he advised in Sigalavada Sutta that the Sutta is not just about directions. We think this is, Buddha talks about east, or west, north, or south. It is actually giving directions to your own life. Because we lost the life's directions. Why? Because the worldly the greed and hatred and delusions, the worldly turbulences are so strong that we lose the directions. We say that the youth are now off the track. Parents are not so caring. They don't respect the parents. The youths are so diverted that absolutely there is no harmony in the family and unity. Well, when the parents has lot of metta towards their children and they expect that my children should grow into a good adult, my child should be skilled and educated, my child should also be inclined into Dhamma practice, and they should be continuing my lineage, right? Some of the rich, although not rich, it is our custom, like parents want the children to follow their footsteps. And then they also expect that they should be worthy of inherit my property, right? And they, if they are really educated, they are worthy, and they should deserve a good marriage. So like that, the parents have sort of expectation. You know, the Pali, it says that bhatto me bharisati. That means when I am infirm and old, my children will take care of me, right? And then it says ichcha me karishami. When I am old, when I cannot support the family life with my livelihood, my child should continuing and take over that activity or professions or whatever work the parents may be doing. Likewise, Kulavansang Rakhisami, he should also protect my lineage, as I said, right? And then the next step of the expectation of the parents is that Dayadang Padisami, the inheritance, they should be also eligible to get my inheritance. And finally, when the parents are gone from this world, we should be grateful. We should do punya, merits in their name, and share the merits. Okay. So these are the five expectation, the wise expectation of any parents who are advised that these are the expectation which the father and mother they set. You know, the parents are such that they don't just expect the children this way, they're also trying to do some duties. Like even in Buddha's time or even now, good parents, they actually encourage the child to do good and to refrain from bad deeds. That is the first duty. We may not have gone to school or college or university, but our parents, what they say, well, my child, you should do good and refrain from doing evil things. First lessons we learn, right? And then they train us in certain kind of skills, in whatever skills we are proficient or we are interested. The parent give us good education and skills. Likewise, they, when the time comes, they arrange a matrimonial things, they arrange a marriage for the children, and then they inherit, transfer their property to the children. This is as per the Buddha's advice in the Sigalavada Sutta. Well, when we say that parents has their expectations, right, towards their children, now the expectation cannot be just materialized by just setting high aspirations, but actually this should be supported by the child. The sons and daughters, they have to fulfill certain duties. Then only we'll have a harmony in the family. As I said, when we have harmony, that means we have metta in the family. This metta is a wonderful quality, a sublime qualities which actually promotes harmony in the family life. When we have, having love, having this loving kindness through our speech, through our actions, what we do, through our thoughts, you know, then you are in harmony, right? Then you have a right view, a, a view in line with goodness, a view which is beautiful. See. So now the children, what they have to do now? When we say that the children, the first duty is to be a worthy sons and daughter, they have to incline towards, giving dana. The children, like many of you, bring your children here, and then you encourage them to, to share. We don't just have to take all the time. We have to give. And this giving is something which brings about, is develop a quality within our heart. The children, from the young age, if they are trained to share, those children are actually, they're cultivating an important factors to become an worthy son and daughter. Therefore, the first quality of inclining towards dana is really, really important. Let us say one child or children is not interested, then the parents or grandparents should encourage them, by bringing things in their hands, and then encourage them to offer to the Sangha. And these things we don't learn it from anywhere. To do that, the parents has to bring to the vihara. Like we had a class, we had 3 months and 4 months Sunday programs. What we teach them is this quality. And we see there is a lot of changes in their behavior by just practicing this. Makes a better child. The qualities of dana, the child will never forget throughout his life. It may not be a sort of a material thing we may imagine. Say a child or a son who is actually practiced this, he may be going on the street and maybe see on the street light or on the traffic light, and then he will stop and he will give the way to the fellow passengers. A person who is having difficulty to pass the road, he may give the way. It seems to be a very simple actions, but this is a dana. This is dana of helping somebody. Someone in difficulties or in need, then we share with them in whatever way we can. This becomes a lesson throughout our life. And that child, when he becomes adult, you'll have that quality of sharing or giving in the monasteries, coming to the Sangha, offering dana and rejoicing in this dana. So, to be worthy of a good son, what you do is practice dana. The second quality is you should also practice Dhamma. Not just dana makes you a good son and daughter. If you are not morally upright, if you are, immoral, you are not following the sila, can you be a good son and daughter? No. Right? To be a good son and daughter, you have to be morally strong. You should follow the 5 moral precepts, at least 5. More than that is well and good. You may take 8 precepts, on the Uposatha days, or in a time comes, you can be practice just like the monks, or taking up a Pabaja course and continue practice. So, children has to be, or the son, they have to think, well, I want to be a good son and daughter, so let me follow these 5 precepts. This Panchashila, makes a person a worthy person, because you have these wonderful qualities of the virtues. So, being virtuous is a quality of worthiness, worthy of respect. When you have these virtues, you become respectable, you become honorable, you know. Therefore, this is another quality of Dharma practice. And sometimes we have to think, I have to practice meditation, bhavana, harmony. If you are not really practicing this bhavana, then the parents should teach them, encourage them, the child, oh, my dear son and daughter, go to the vihara. Like Anatha Pendika. Have you heard the story of Anatha Pendika or not? He had a son, Kala. His name was Kala. This Kala was not like his father. He always trying to, evade from the monasteries. He don't want to go to monasteries and listen the Dhamma or, reciting the paritas, just like you, practicing Dhamma, like that. But the Anatha Pendika, such a great upasaka, is a great benefactor of the Sangha. Among the upasakas, he excels. So the Anatha Pendika observed that Kala is not like, a obedient son or a good son to go to the monastery and practice Dhamma. So he says, Kala, okay, I will give you, 1,000 coins, gold coins. But you just have to go to the monastery and then learn one gatha, 4-line gatha. So Kala was very happy because he is getting this reward from his father. So what is there to go to the monastery and just spend a day and come back? So he felt happy and then he went to the Jetavana, but he doesn't have any respect. He will just sleep there, lie down and sitting on the corner somewhere and just, spending his time doing nothing because he wants the money. He doesn't want, he has not really that interest in the Dhamma. So like that, Kala spent a day. The next day he come home and receive this money and he's happy. Next day, Anatha Pendika says, well, now you go. I will increase your gift. I'll increase the sum of money. I'll give you 2,000 gold coins, like that. But this time you don't come empty. You have to go meditate there and learn a gatha, 4-line stanza in Pali. So it so happened that, well, since Kala has never practiced meditation, he find it so difficult to even sit. And though he could hear the monks chanting paritas, but he never remembers anything. No. So like that, he tried to remember a stanza, but he could not. Meanwhile, the Buddha saw him that the Kala is actually struggling. But he really has inclination to learn something, learn the meditation, learn the chanting, remembering some gathas. So the Buddha gave him a discourse, Kala, about, the importance of Dhamma, the qualities he should cultivate in himself. And listening to this discourse, Kala became a Sotapanna. This Kala became a stream entry and he doesn't want any money now. So he returned home. He's a changed person. He says, Father, you take away all the money. I don't want anything. I'm so happy, so contented. I received the greatest gift of Dhamma from Bhagavan. So I'm so blessed. So that is how Anatha Pendika trained his own son and encouraged him to practice Dhamma. Imagine a son who never believed in Dhamma, Though Anathapindika himself is a very faithful devotee of Lord Buddha. Likewise, we should take these inspirations and then we try to uh, teach our young children, the sons and daughters. They may not come to the vihara, but we should find some skillful ways to train them, to encourage them, or to give them an example, showing them a role model, demonstrating them how you should practice Dhamma. So this Dhamma practice makes a is another duty, another quality of our children, the sons and daughters, to become really a able, upright, worthy son. Right? And then the next quality is uprightness. We should also see that our child grows into a upright person. He should stand upright for the truth. He should not be fear or scared when facing the situations. Right? Maybe some of you are already doing it. When something, when untruthful things are happening, we simply cannot just witness it. We have to train them that you should be upright to facing this ill of life, or the immoral things which we see. We just cannot just sit and tolerate those things. We cannot tell our children to be like them, right? So to stand upright and firm in the society and giving a true examples, another quality of becoming a good son and daughter, because you want to inherit your parents' thing, right? You want to be a good son, you want to be a worthy son in eyes of your parents. So this is the number 3 quality. Then we also think that we have to be steadfast. We have to be persevering in whatever skills we are learning or the education which you are pursuing. You should try to excel in that field. Right? The Buddha said in the Mangala Sutta, Bahusa chancha, sipancha, vinayocha, susikkito, suvasita, chayavacha, etang mangalamuttamang. You have to be skillful, you have to be well learned, and you have to be disciplined in your morals. Discipline. When I say practice Dhamma, that means you have to train yourself in discipline. Your physical discipline, your mental discipline, and with your speech. So, this way, when you are well trained and you got a good education or good skills, that doesn't mean that you become really worthy. No, you should have that humility, gratefulness and gratitude towards your parents, towards the teachers from whom you receive the Dhamma or receive this, the skills or education. Right? So, if somebody, for example, some student or some children, they may not show interest in the studies or skills, then what we should do? The parents should interfere, encourage them, and tell them, oh my dear son and daughter, you should do this way. You should be educated. Otherwise, how can you earn money? How can you live a good life? How can you take care of your parents? How can you continue this family tradition? So when we encourage our children and motivate them, then they can become good children. Right? So even to practice dana, one has to have money. To give dana also, you should be, steadfast in earning money. You should be excelling in your career, whatever you are doing. That is number 4, uprightness in education, in skills. Nowadays, we may have many different kinds of skills, but we should have a target that we should do these skills at a certain time in our youth, a young age, We have to devote ourselves to learning some skills. We have to complete this certain course. And then I should devote my time for working. So when you are persevere and then persistence in your work or professions, then you can be successful definitely. So the fifth quality comes perseverance in earning money, accumulating your wealth. As a layperson, or all Buddhists, or even though you are Dhamma followers, but you should be economically sound, right? For your family, for your community, for the sasana. If you want to be contributing, contribute the sasana family, whatever way, or making punya, you should have that wealth with you. So this is the fifth quality is persevering in accumulating wealth. Persistence. Like Buddha says, Utthana Sampada, Arakha Sampada. You should have that Sampada, the perseverance in accumulating wealth. And once you accumulate, then you have to maintain it, you safeguard them. So this way, now we discussed about how the parents should behave, should become a role model for the children, how the children becomes an worthy son and daughter. So that what happens is we don't have any conflict in the families. Many times, I'm sure all of you, many of you, or few of you maybe, had that kind of experience, right? Your children, when are listening to you, you say something, they do something else. You say, hey, come to the vihara, they don't come to the vihara. You say, let us do some charity or practice meditation, they don't listen to you, right? Or you have some expectations, high goals you have set forth, but your children is not really fulfilling that, right? So here, the underlying principle is Dhamma is the only way to bring happiness, harmony, prosperity, and unity in the family. Let's say when the children are nurtured in these principles of Dhamma principles, they will be so beautiful people. They are so wonderful children, and parents don't have to expect anything. All their wishes the children automatically fulfills. They take care of the parents, they, uh, whatever they need, the parent need. The first five, as I said, they they take over their duties, they perform their family duties, their responsibility correctly. They are worthy of getting this inheritance. They are also continuing the family traditions. When they are alive, they perform punyas together, they practice Dhamma together. And when they are no more in this world, they still do punya. They still cultivate the merits in the form of punyanumodana, in a form of making dana and sharing that punya in their departed parents' name. So we can see this Dhamma in our family life very much. So Buddha, when he talks about blessings, he also talk about family. In the Mangala Suttas, he says, Mata Pitu Pattanang Uttadarasa Sangaho Anakulacha Kammantha Etang Mangalamuttamang Kanancha Dhammacharyacha Nyata Kanancha Sangaho Anavajjani Kammani Etang Mangalamuttamang. This is fundamentals. This is upholding the values, the family values. And following this great, the message of Lord Buddha, his teachings, we can make a family life better life. So today, this much is the message of whether our upasakas. We don't think that maybe the young children says, I will not grow old. No, you are also same line. We are following their footstep. At one point of time, our parents or our teachers, like Bhante was very young and dynamic. Today we are listening to Bhante's address. The Chatta Sanghayana have recording of how Bhante was giving the opening remark in the Chatta Sanghayana in Myanmar, 1950, 54. So we have that legacy, you see. Now, to continue that legacy, as I said, these principles, make it a habit, remember in your heart all the time. Never forget these advices of Lord Buddha. Then only you become a worthy son and your parents are so happy. Parents become so happy. My children is really continuing this. You know. So this is the Dhamma message. So for both of us to live, to make a family harmonious, make a family united, make a family a Dhamma family, a respectable family, where it becomes like a vihara, it becomes a place to grow together in the Dhamma. So with this, I leave at this point. May the blessings of Bhagavan Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha surround your life with wisdom. May you all keep growing in blessings, keep growing in Dhamma, and ultimately be a good parents and good sons and daughters, and ultimately realize the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sa, sa,